Well, I think we are live now. And hello, everybody. Slim Overton here. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. And here we are, getting ready for 2025. And I'd like to look back at 2024. What a amazing year 2024 was, leading up to, and probably be another video when I talk about how it was politically to come. But as the Slim Nation, I want to talk a little bit about how the Slim Nation came about. The Slim Nation came about years ago when I was in the hospital. And I talked about this before. I was in the hospital and, excuse me, and posting every day on Facebook about my experience with the medical situation I was going through, needing a new heart and preparing for a heart transplant. But so I started posting every day, and I had to come up with something to call the post every day so people could kind of look for it. So the Slim Nation came about. Slim was a name that was given to me, even though it's a name that people might automatically call you if you're tall and slim. Strangers would call me Slim. But anyway, it was became a nickname for me when I was in college at Virginia Union University by my first roommate, Johnny Boo Pittman, and he just decided to call me Slim, and it sort of stuck. And even when I came back home, the Slim, kind of stuck. I can't remember if people in my neighborhood called me what they used to call me, and I said, well, I go by Slim now, or they just picked it up I can't really remember how the people home, because I was Anthony in my neighborhood. So, and I knew when someone called me Anthony, they were from the neighborhood, because at my high school in I.C. Norcom, I was James, which is my first name. Anthony is my middle name. So, so I came back from college, come home, and the Slim name started to really take over as far as everybody called it. Even my parents kind of switched to Slim, from Anthony or whatever names they would call me, James A. My dad used to call me at one point Chip, because he figured I was a chip off the old block, and until I didn't follow his profession. But, that's another story for another video. And so the Slim stuck. So all through my college years, Slim, I was Slim Overton, and almost like I forgot I was James. I would introduce myself as Slim. And I remember I was dating someone one time, and well, about to date somebody, just met, and they asked what my name was, and I said Slim. She said, "No, what's your real name? I'm not going to call you Slim. What's your real name?" And I said, "Oh, well, that's right, James." And she called me James from then on. And even though everybody else around me. So when I came back home, I was married and had a new baby that came maybe a year or so after I came back home. And everybody was calling me Slim. So everybody who met me for the first time uh, addressed me as Slim, because that's all they knew. And they knew my real name, but Slim was just something that sort of stuck, and that was it. So when I started going on Facebook, I was a big fan of Funkadelic, Parliament Funkadelic, and they had this song "One Nation Under a Groove," and I just, that nation kind of always started. I loved that song, and that nation stuck in my head. And then I said, then I started saying Slim Nation. The Slim Nation would characterize the people that was following me at the time. They're all a part of the Slim Nation, all the posts I was putting out at the time. So it was I was creating a group of people, and you see a lot of people now that might have a following, and they call their followers a certain name, as their followers. Didn't have that much intent, but I was just creating something that people could look forward to, and if they wanted to, and if they saw the Slim Nation, they knew what was coming. It wouldn't be a surprise. So we went with the Slim Nation, and so excuse me. So I kind of held on to that, as far as my personal posts and doing YouTube videos, along with the personal coffee talk, which I did with other hosts. But I had my Slim Nation, and then it sort of morphed into the Slim Nation One-on-Ones podcast. So that came about because I wanted to have conversations with people, one-on-one conversations with people about their journeys and what they're doing now, and sort of, it could get personal, it could get be general, it could be funny or whatever, and just giving people an opportunity to say some things about their life and how they got to the point they are that they don't get a chance to discuss this most. A lot of times when the people would go on interviews, it starts with where they are then. And I like to do the one-on-ones to sort of go back and see what motivated those people to be, what shaped them to who they are today. And a lot of times that works out. And I had some people say, "Ooh, no one's ever asked me that question. No one's ever gone back there." Even though they might have talked about it, but not in a form of an interview. So that's the goal, or the mission of the Slim Nation One-on-Ones podcast. And we still sort of have the Slim Nation generally, going into 2025. We're going to develop that more, and things that don't involve a one-on-one will just be tagged as the Slim Nation, where I might just be about a lot of different things. But those one-on-ones, that podcast will be there on the YouTube channel that you're watching now, the Slim Nation's One-on-Ones podcast. And we're going to start back up in the new year with individual conversations with people, and hopefully it'll be something that you want to watch and subscribe to. And I'm going to try to put as many up on a regular basis as I can, because that's what the advice of YouTube supporters, not supporters, but YouTube um, people that have been on YouTube for a while, their suggestions, they say you got to just be regular with what you do. So that's what we're going to do with the Slim Nation One-on-Ones podcast. But I'm very proud of the Slim Nation. I like the term, and probably going to have to work on getting that thing officially copyrighted. I've seen some other variations of Slim Nation, but not quite. It can just be. But sometimes if it's real similar and somebody already has it copyrighted, it could be a problem. So I should not, in 2025, should be my mission to make sure the Slim Nation name is copyrighted. So we won't run into problems down the road, because it could be a big problem if you got all these videos out under that. And let that be a lesson to people that are doing videos or podcasts, to try to get something copyrighted, because you could have a lot of information out there, and somebody else comes and slips that name in, or has a name similar, and they can sort of push you out of what you're doing, and where you might have to sort of change your name either completely, or add or subtract some things to make it completely different from what somebody else is already legally copyrighted for their name. So we're going to make sure we work on that early in the year. I guess we're going to have to contact a copyright lawyer and start that process, so we can make sure we can have this thing together. So I just wanted to come on and talk to the people that are watching the Slim Nation. We're trying to build this channel, so we're trying to figure out how many things we can do to make it more attractive to people that want to watch. Uh, should it be an hour? Should it just be a half hour? And maybe some of them will be a half hour, and some of them will warrant an hour because some things you can't get within a half hour. Probably no longer than an hour, to order to keep someone's attention. But even that's, a half hour might be too long for some people. But we're going to try a lot of different things and see what works. And I'm making an appeal to people that might watch that might not normally uh, follow the Slim Nation to give me suggestions, because even the one-on-one conversations we've had, they don't have to be people that I actually know. It might be somebody in California that's watching that might want to just come on and introduce yourself to me, and we just have a conversation and find out how many things we might have in common. You never know. Somebody might be from another country that's following on YouTube that might just want to come on and have a conversation. And that's going to be something I'm going to look forward to as well, trying to find people that I may not have too much in common with, but might find out through conversations how many things we do have in common. Yeah, so we're going to look forward to that too. But in the meantime, in the beginning, I'll be booking one-on-ones conversations with people that I know that will introduce to you, and it might the conversations might go in a way where it might be something similar to what you're doing. And one of the things I like to do, I like to have authors, people who have written books, and especially those first-time authors or those people that are just getting into trying to tell their story, through putting their memoirs into a book form, or just talking. The book can be this thick or it can be that thick, and never underestimate a real thin book or not that many pages, and how much of your story you can tell in a small book. So, just let me give some contact information. My email is dallas4059@gmail.com. That's Dallas 4059@gmail.com. Contact me through the email, and I'll have it somewhere on my page. Well, it's already on the Slim Nation page if you look through the page. And contact me and let me know. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about anything. Probably won't do a lot of political conversations, although we might have some on the Slim Nation's one-on-one channel. I'll reserve that for a Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And let me say this quickly about Portsmouth Coffee Talk, which is another channel that I'm involved with here on YouTube. It's called the Portsmouth Coffee Talk Podcast. Been changed to the Portsmouth Coffee Talk Podcast from the Portsmouth Coffee Talk's morning and evening show. So also, please contact us there, to have those political conversations that is so needed, and that's going to be so important, especially this first year coming, with the new administration. We want to talk to people who voted for this new administration, who voted for someone else, and just get some ideas or find out where you're coming from there. And that's Portsmouth Coffee Talk. But back to the Slim Nation, we want to just do a lot. Do a lot and maintain our presence here on our YouTube channel, and as well as on Facebook and other platforms that we're allowed to show our wares. So I want to thank everybody so far who have been watching the Slim Nation One-on-Ones podcast. It's sort of a new channel, and so we're trying to make sure we can pick up steam and have a lot of people. But in order for me to do that, it's my charge to myself to make sure we keep a presence up here. and make sure that you want to be with us. And you know, and I will let people know. I'm thinking about. I might try to do one of those reaction channels on YouTube. I watch a lot of those, and you're looking at a 70-year-old man. Don't I get ready to say I don't feel like it, but yeah, I'm 70 and I feel like 70. But 70 is not ancient, but it's getting up there. But we still have a lot to contribute, especially here on social media. So that's why I'm here and will continue. So, and thinking about doing a reaction channel to some of the music. And I want to approach the reaction channel, because sometimes I watch some of the earlier generations watching music from the 70s and late 60s. And I want to probably do a reaction on things I have seen, but being able to add what was going on with me or what was going on in the world at the time that particular song was out, and the climate of the time in the 70s, in the 80s, and then also watch some of the newer music out and give my reactions to some of the newer music out. So I'm going to be exploring how exactly to start a reaction channel, because I think I might have something to say about the different music. Because when I going back to me watching people doing reaction channels, and sometimes I want to jump in there and say, oh, because they really don't know. They listen to the music and like the music, and they might call out, I wonder who that was, or it's a group, and they don't know some of the history behind those groups and some of the names and some of the other things that could be added. And they might see it in the comments from people watching later. But I want to be able to watch those videos and to tell you while I'm watching it what was going on during that time. So let me know if you think that that might be something. I'll probably do it anyway because it's something I want to try to do in a reaction channel. I like what I see, and I'm almost hooked on watching other people. I like watching the reactions to, especially younger people, to some of the music that was during my era, and how they appreciate, how pure the music was, without all the technology and added, and not putting the technology down. Technology is good. It gives you an opportunity to add a lot to the music of today. But having those singers actually, using their voice, their instrument, to make magic in the music world is something to see, and how simple it was, to get that music out. Simple, but yet complicated in many ways to make sure that you created some great music. I always figure out how they continue to come up with different sounds, and you see sounds that are duplicated, especially with the rap game today, how they sample music back from older music, 70s, 80s, 90s, and a lot of sampling from the 70s. And it's a reason for that, because it was some pretty good music back there. So stay tuned, stay tuned for the Slim Nation One-on-One podcast. Stay tuned for anything from the Slim Nation, and become a Slim Nation member, become a part of the Slim Nation. Well, I'm going to figure out how I can uh, help people that be a part of the family of the Slim Nation. So you can say, I am in the family of the Slim Nation. So we're going to work on how that can be done, and how um, uh, you can be a part of what we do here on the Slim Nation. And stay tuned for that reaction channel from Slim. I have to figure out a title, but you can bet Slim will be involved in the title of that reaction channel. So I want to thank everybody again. I want to tell everybody Happy New Year. And when you get a chance, answer this question: how long in the new year do you say Happy New Year before it gets old? I would say maybe a week or two into the new year, if you're still seeing people. After that, you can stop. The new year is well on its way. So take care, and thanks for everybody uh, being here in 2024. And I hope everyone had a great year, and condolences to all those who may have lost members during the year 2024. I know I have lost family members and friends and people that I didn't know, but people that I respected, like Nikki Giovanni, really respected her. And so we'll see you next time, and take care.